Looking at the corruption and lawlessness in Pakistan and the dominance of the Western civilization and its oppressive hold over the Muslim world, the impassioned youth today develop two attitudes: despair and isolation as a result of it, or become more militant in their thought. Both these outcomes do not bode well for the Muslim Ummah. It is to Moulana Modudi's credit that he not only critiqued the Western degeneracy but also laid the foundation of an organized movement for the establishment of an Islamic state, which he headed for many years, devised strategies, methods to struggle peacefully for the cause in a Muslim society, and remedied feelings of despair and inclination towards civil war amongst Muslims. He said, "Secure and long-lasting government can never be established through havoc and violence. Examples of Latin America and Africa are for everyone to see, where revolution was brought through such means which resulted in a series of revolutions and counter-revolutions. This is why we ourselves won't adopt violence and not let others use it either." Moulana Modudi not only gave a detailed outline of what an Islamic state in modern times would look like, but also elaborated on how a contemporary Islamic state will address the problems of the modern era. An Islamic state operates on the principle of mutual consultation rather than a despotic and dictatorial one. Moulana said, "Western understanding of democracy is that absolute rule and sovereignty belongs to the people, while we Muslims understand democracy and the authority that comes with it, respect to the vice regency bestowed upon humans by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In both the contexts, Western or Islamic, the government is formed and transferred by the electorate's opinion. But the difference is that, according to them, a democratic state is sovereign in absolute terms, while according to us, a democratic viceregency is subject to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sovereignty." In the past, a state-backed narrative was pushed that the army is the most organized and educated institution in the country. In those days, Ayub Khan was the chief martial law administrator, and Moulana Modudi was persecuted by the government for his Islamic ideology and struggle. General Ayub invited Moulana for an extensive meeting and suggested, "Moulana, this politics is a very filthy game. How do people of high moral character with pure souls such as yourself get involved in it? You should leave this and occupy yourself only with spreading Islam in this country and around the globe. Let politicians do politics. Whoever steps in this mud will be covered in filth." Moulana replied, "You have correctly stated that the politics has been made a dirty game by immoral and godless people. That is why I say that a corrupt government is the root of all corruption, and it's this corruption that has made all aspects of our lives filthy. Until politics is not cleansed from such filth, no aspect of human life can be improved or made healthy. To cleanse the society of this filth is not mere politics for us, but rather a religious obligation." In reply, Ayub Khan said, "Then Moulana, you cannot shield yourself from being defiled by this filth." Moulana responded, "There is no doubt that whoever cleans the scum and sewerage, no matter how many precautions he takes, some dirt will get on his clothes. But if sewerage isn't washed out of fear of getting dirty, then eventually the whole population is under threat of becoming diseased." During his life, Sayyid Modudi ensured that violence never be the basis of national policy. Moulana Modudi's stance was clear that rulers should be elected by the people and they should be free to choose them and not coerced to do so. Jamaat-e-Islami, founded by Moulana Modudi, has stated in its constitution that it will not operate in this country in the underground or in secrecy, and no unconstitutional means will be adopted by it. It will adopt non-violent protests in the face of dictatorship, avoid civil war, and not use force to reach power. Even after forming government, force will be used as a last resort to implement Islam. according to Sayyid Modudi. Some people ignore the full scheme and details of the Islamic system and outright start criticizing its harsh punishments. Islam starts with creating faith among ordinary people. Then, it builds their character and takes steps to prepare strong public opinion which fosters good and suppresses evil. Then, it establishes such a social, economic, and political order in which doing a good deed is easier than doing a bad one. It shuts all doors through which the various abominable crimes penetrate. After all these things, force is used as a deterrent for wiping out every evil that crops up in an otherwise clean society. Who would be more unjust than a person who skips over all these things and places the last of its item on the top only to disgrace this righteous system? In Pakistan, whether it's a civilian dictatorship or military dictatorship under the guise of democracy, all such dictatorships can only be countered through public awareness. To instill God consciousness and desire for paradise in the hearts of the people and turn it into a force that is not content with anything but Islam was the mission of Sayyid Modudi. Even today, many lives are struggling for the same cause. As long as there are those who are struggling for this cause, there is hope, and despair and extremism can find no room here.